So today I'm talking with Janelle Morrison. For those of you who don't know, Janelle is a professional triathlete who was in a very bad accident in November of 2012. And she broke many bones and almost took her away from us. And so for the past 2 years, over 2 years, she's been on a mission to recover and resume her life as a professional triathlete. Now last year we watched Janelle place third at Ironman Canada and star in her own documentary. So congratulations on completion of your movie A Second Chance. I think for those of you out there who have not seen it, I think you should definitely go out and see it. It's very inspirational and it will definitely help motivate you on tough days. So one thing I want to ask you, Janelle, first of all, thank you for doing the interview.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for Skyping with me here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're welcome. So it's a little bit noisy here on your end because you're at a coffee shop just having lunch, but that's totally fine. One question I have for you is, are you missing making your daily video entries, or do you still do this?
As for video diaries, I don't really miss doing them. At the time, for me, they were, I think I've mentioned a few times, they were very therapeutic because obviously I was processing and going through a lot of mental and emotional aspect of recovery. It wasn't just physical, so it really helped me to kind of get a grip on where I was and how I was thinking and feeling, and whether or not those thoughts and feelings were of benefit going forward or a hindrance. So I would look back on them after doing every single one of them and just kind of get an assessment for myself as to where I was emotionally. But I don't miss doing them now. I have, I can journal if I feel like the need for introspection and that sort of thing. But no, I'm not missing them.
You must miss Rob Kelly hanging around you, though, for sure.
Rob's a good guy. It's funny, sometimes Rob and I will chat, and we'll chat on the phone or something, but it's more sporadic, and we've often commented that we feel a little bit disconnected from each other's lives because it was such a tight connection for almost 2 years, and then almost like we'll go a couple months without speaking, so it's interesting.
Right, and for those of you who don't know, Rob Kelly was the director of the movie. And I just happened to, had a class in my basement on Sunday, and what we did is we put your movie on, so I was able to watch it for the second time. And then as I was watching it, I thought, wow, is this ever awesome? It was so shocking for me to see how close you came to actually dying, and the possibility of you ever running or training again seemed so small back then, and so it's awesome to see how far you've come. And so for your perseverance to get yourself back into shape to race professionally and to come in third at Ironman Canada is really fantastic, so that's so awesome. Now, a question I have for you is, how has the documentary changed your life, and do you see things differently now?
I don't know if I could put it as specifically as the documentary. I think the whole last 2 years has changed my life. I mean, obviously the documentary would have been a part of it, but I don't know if I can pinpoint exactly what the role of the documentary was. But however, as my life has changed from all of the circumstances surrounding the last 2 years, I think that the biggest thing that's affected me, that it took me a while to learn. I didn't actually really start to think about it until last summer, but really focusing in on gratitude. I think that for most of my life previous to the accident, I wasn't an overly grateful person. I mean, we can easily say that we're grateful because we say thank you and this and that, but to me, yeah, I was saying thank you and polite in that respect, but I wasn't really feeling it, and until I was able to start living more in the now and focusing in on the fact that yes, I'm alive, but also just to be grateful for every single thing that I have. Like we sleep. I know with most people that are listening, and myself, we sleep in a bed at night, and we have a bathroom with toothbrush in the morning, and most of us can run and enjoy a sunny day, and we just have so many things to be grateful for in every moment that's given to us. And I think but that to me has been the big change in how I see life, really.
I think that's very interesting in how you talked about gratitude. And for me, I kind of tapped into that quite a few years ago. And I don't know if you remember, but last year you were going to do Wildflower Race. And I have a camp there, and I wanted to do an interview with you. And I was going to give you one secret of mine that would help you. And basically what I do is when I'm in a race, or if I'm having trouble, what I do is I will say thank you, thank you, thank you almost every step, and then that helps me get into a really good place of well-being, and it takes away the pain from a lot of the race. So that was a secret I was going to tell you last year.
Interesting how that all came full circle.
And so now what I want to ask you is, so Wildflowers last year, I know that you wanted to do Wildflower in your documentary, and just as an athlete, are you going to do a Wildflower this year?
Yes, I am. It's actually going to be my first race this year.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going down there for a camp too, so I'll be happy to cheer you on and watch. I don't know if you know Jeff Simons.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's also going down there, so it'd be great to have two Canadians be cheering for us. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. He's going to... I thought he was doing a race in Mexico. Oh, no. Yeah, and then he'll do Wildflower. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. So for me, I'm surrounded by amazing people who are super efficient at working, training, and living their lives. And what I like to often ask these people is, what is the first thing they think about when they wake up? So I'm going to ask you that. What's the first thing you think about in the morning when you wake up?
Tying back into what I just said, the first thing that I think about when I wake up, and sometimes I forget, but I'm trying to make it more of a habit, and I'm getting quite good at it, is the first thing I think is thank you. Thank you for the day. Thank you for the fact that I'm alive. And I just take a few minutes before I actually get out of bed to just feel gratitude for what I have.
No, that's awesome. Okay, so that's the first thing you say. So what's the last thing you say to yourself just before you go to bed?
That's interesting too. So again, I say thank you, but what I do is before I actually do that, or in part of that, all of my favorite parts of the day. So I sort of review my day in my mind, and I pick out one thing that was my absolute favorite part of the day. And I feel that it's important for me to do that, or like for really anyone to be able to do that, because that sets the tone for the frequency of how you'll go to bed at night. And then when you wake, those were the last kind of thoughts that you had in your mind, were positive thoughts from the day, and it allows you to wake up in a little bit of a more positive state of mind, to be thankful and grateful for that day.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that's awesome. So now I got another question for you. The ability to suffer in training and racing, I believe, is very important in building a champion. So you have suffered so much in the healing process over the last few years. When training gets tough for you and your body is screaming at you to stop, what do you do or say to yourself to keep going?
That's actually interesting, because I just had that experience. I just had an hour run, and I was feeling a little bit tired and just not really feeling it the last 20 minutes, half an hour or so. I think it's just like a lot of the last 2 days have sort of caught up with me, and that sort of thing. And so I was aware that this was where my mental state was, and I sort of took it upon myself to be an observer of I realized that the thoughts that I was having were just spiraling more and more. The more I thought, oh, I'm tired, or oh, I just can't wait till this is done, or oh, these kinds of thoughts, I realized that they were getting worse, and they were actually making my run feel worse, the whole thing. So again, I really turned to gratitude, and I focused on, I looked around and I focused on the incredible beauty that I'm surrounded by. I was actually running on a treadmill, and the sun, there was a great big window at the front, and I really focused in on that, and I could see the swimmers below swimming, and I focused on the fact that I'm so lucky that I'm doing this, and I'm grateful that I'm doing this. And it was fascinating that the last half of that run, I mean, I still didn't feel great, but I overcame that negativity, that spiraling, to just be in the moment and move on. And when I finished, I actually felt quite good. So it was amazing to see that turnaround, just such a quick turnaround, by just having gratitude for being able to do the things that I love and be in this amazing place, which I'm really enjoying, Las Vegas, and the sun and the temperature, everything. So there was just so much to be grateful for, and it's amazing how that focus just changed everything.
No, that's awesome. I think all the people listening out there, that's a great tip, so that if you are having a tough day, you can definitely go to gratitude and say thank you. Okay, so if you could win one race left in your career, which one would it be?
If I could win one race, which would it be? Just
one race, that's it.
So if I had a chance to win one race, which one would I want it to be?
That's right.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, I would really like to win Challenge Penticton, because obviously my Ironman career really started in Penticton, and the reason why not the reason why I'm doing Challenge Penticton, but I just feel that the community in Penticton is the best in the world for putting on a race. So I would love to do that in my own hometown. But at the same time, I'm not, particularly this season, I'm not, again, I want to win and I want to achieve my goals, but I'm more looking at it long term. And so for this particular season, I'm looking at building throughout the season and finishing the season strong, in a way that is more patient than I've ever approached things. So again, focusing on the win is yes, definitely that's something that I'm going, but most important right now is to progress my season, finish strong, and remain uninjured. That's the big thing for me. That would, to me, this year, 2013, that would be an incredible success.
So is this new mindset that you have, is this a product of working with your new coach, Mark Allen?
You know what? I definitely think that's helping with that. But interestingly, I had just come to these realizations on my own before working with Mark, and I think that's why he saw the fit to work with me. He's only working with Angela Nath, who I'm actually here training with in Las Vegas, which is awesome. And myself as professionals. So I feel very, very fortunate, and again very grateful that I'm working with someone that I have such. I feel that there is circumstances, not only surrounding my accident, but even previously, I needed to experience all the things that I had experienced in order to be ready for what Mark now has to teach me. So I feel like I sort of got to that threshold level of being ready to work with him, but now I can.
Okay, so we lost you there for a second. So let's just move on to the last question that I have for you. Now, if you could give advice to someone who is trying to take themselves to the next level in triathlon, what would you say to them?
Trying to take themselves to the next level?
Yeah, so say if they're just, maybe they're 2 years into the sport and they go, you know what, I love the sport, and I want to get, you know, that much faster, what would be the one tip that you would give them to make that a reality?
And I think there's times where we can get so deeply focused on a goal that we lose the love of the process, and that's where everything is done. So, you know, a lot of people that will listen to this, you know, have real jobs and have lives and children and all of these other responsibilities and things that they need to do, and I that a lot of times that can be that the training can almost become like another thing to do, whereas changing that perspective to just to loving what you're doing and being grateful for the fact that you can do it, I feel that that's going to add a lightness and a performance-enhancing aspect to what it is that the person wants to achieve. So loving what you do, really, and again, that's connected so much to gratitude.
Perfect. I think that's a great answer, Janelle. So I just want to wrap this up. I'm going to say thank you very much for taking the time to talk today, and I wish you the best of luck in training and racing, and I can't wait to see you at Wildflower. We're going to kick some butt.
Okay, that's awesome, Todd. Thank you very much, and have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.